Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God. Chubs Gone Wild.
Well, hello again. It's time for another Chubs Gone Wild, and we are back with some fun and frivolosity and all sorts of good stuff. It is episode, what is it? I got to get to the board here. It's episode 553, recorded on August 5th, 2024. There's a lot of fives in that one. Soon it will be episode 555. And if you want to send us an email or a phone call to congratulate us for getting to 555, just do that by, we'll tell you how to do that at the end.
Well, you know that's the episode we'll film right after my birthday.
Yes, that's right. Right after your birthday. Now, wait a minute. Okay, are you going to be available for that one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're going to take a little vacation?
It's just Tuesday through Friday.
Oh, okay, cool. So so nobody's going to miss anything. So don't you worry about that. But don't forget that Tom's birthday is coming up in just 13 days. 13
And
days.
that's all. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, it does. It's the big 6-5.
Oh, thank you for sharing.
Well, what? That's an amazing accomplishment. Every time you level up, it is a good thing. I don't understand that, you know.
It just seems like it's closer to death. It just does. You know, when you're in your 40s, it seems like you're still kind of immortal, and then you get into your 50s, and and then you get into your 60s, and it's a little worse. But yeah.
And then you get to your 70s, and you're just like, and then you realize that things are a little bit different now. So we can make it longer. We can make it better. We can make Jamie Summers. You can be Jamie Summers. You can be the Bionic Woman.
I'll tell you, lately I've been feeling like her.
Yeah.
I mean, I got my hands done. I've got inserts in my shoes. It's like, oh my God.
How the inserts working? You said they were pretty good?
Well, they're fine, but imagine walking. Okay, you're in shoes, and where the arch is supposed to be, they've got inserts now that it feels kind of like you're walking on half of a golf ball.
Oh, no.
So it doesn't. You're not very balanced on either side until. I mean, it's. I can see that it's working, but the balance is my biggest problem, because if I stand or like walking backwards, because most people walk kind of either on their heel or their ball of their foot, and now I've got a literal ball under the center of my foot, so it's hard to kind of it's the balance thing. Gotcha. But it'll get better.
It will get wonderful, and you can do it. I believe in you. I also believe it's 99 degrees and sunny outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios, where yesterday was 103.
Yeah, it was warm.
It really was. Although you get in the pool, and then there's a slight breeze, and you're like, oh, it's cold.
Yeah.
Then you get back out, and you're like, nope, still hot.
Yeah. And we didn't turn on the air before we left. So we got home, it was like 81 in here. So that not a big deal, but you know, you walk in and you go, it's not as cool as I thought it was going to be, you know, because you walk from the 103 into the 81, and it's granted a great degree of temperature change. At
least it's a drop.
Yeah, but then so then the air came on, and we got it to 78, and it was nice and cool.
Yes. Well, it is 28 days until Labor Day. and 87 days until Halloween. It's coming right around the corner. It's almost time to dig out all those Halloween decorations. And it is 143 days until Christmas. And if you are like, hey, you know what? I need to start shopping for new Christmas decorations. What should I do? Temu. Temu has local, although, you know what? Temu is poised to be, I think, one of the new Amazons because I've been looking at their products lately, like Christmas trees, not just browsing. And they're about comparable prices, just a few dollars cheaper now. So I think Temu, yeah, I think we got some competition going on because they have warehouses in America now, so they can ship faster.
Thank God.
Yeah, waiting the 2 weeks to 3 weeks, that was something.
Yeah, well, then when it comes, it's delivered by the post office.
Yeah,
and it was like I almost felt bad for it because it wasn't even a box; it was in a bag.
and it's like
And
super wrap tape.
yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, thank God I got something that can't break. Because I felt the package looked like it had been through a lot. And not that it was, I mean, it's a bag and nothing was broken, but just the outside of it was just a mess.
It had seen some things.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive awards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and a lot more. And we want to thank our current amazing patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, Digistasage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brothers and Natives, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame so you can find out how to support our projects. And it's actually some fun things coming up, but we'll save that for a near future show for as little as $1 a month. Well, today's affirmation, one moment, please. Today's affirmation, please. Center yourself, focus, and say, I cannot change another person. I let others be who they are, and I simply love who I am. Well, you know what? That is actually a good affirmation.
It's a really good, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Just not true.
Well, especially as today is the first day of Mercury in retrograde. So from now until I think the 24th or the 28th, somewhere in there, well, let's just say be ready for miscommunications and stuff like that. Think everything out before you say it. Check in to make sure it was understood. Check those junk boxes in your emails. Check your missed phone calls. Yeah, there may be some stuff going on there, but bear with the universe. Well, today in history, on August 5th, 1962, movie actress Marilyn Monroe is found dead in her home in Los Angeles. She was discovered lying nude on her bed, face down, with a telephone in one hand. Empty bottle of pills prescribed to treat her depression were littered around the room. After a brief investigation, Los Angeles police concluded that her death was caused by a self-administered overdose of sedative drugs, that the mode of death is probable suicide. Do you believe that?
Well, no.
Yeah, I don't either. Sorry. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theory loving type person, but I'm sorry, that is just so wrong.
Yeah, it's just I don't remember when it happened because I was only I was just going to be turning 3. So
yeah.
But that's always been one that's that, you know, it just sounds like it was an inside job.
Oh yeah, it sounds just as set up seen as they come. All right. Well, today is see if we celebrate any holidays. It is Green Peppers Day.
No,
Are you a fan of green peppers?
no. I
Yeah.
mean, I like, I don't like bell peppers.
Okay.
Green bell peppers. The red, the orange, and the yellow are fine, but the green just give me. Well, I don't know if they do anymore, but I they used to give me really bad heartburn,
Okay.
and so I don't know if they still do because I just don't eat them.
I very rarely do I like a
But yeah, jalapeno peppers, which are green, that's fine,
yeah,
and
yeah.
different kinds of chilies are fine. But it's just those green bell peppers. Blech.
Okay. Well, it's also National Traffic Light Day.
I haven't been out yet.
Okay.
What is
National
traffic light? What does a traffic light get a fucking day?
I don't know, but actually, this is an international traffic light. So, from all over the world, traffic lights are celebrated today.
I wonder if they celebrate it because they finally all figured out we're going to do a red, yellow, green, and that'll be worldwide, kind of like signage is. It's usually
Mhm.
yeah, maybe I don't know. It
Yeah.
seems silly.
It's also National Oyster Day.
Okay, not a big fan.
Yeah, we used to get oyster soup or oyster stew, something like that,
Oh,
on New Year's.
we had oysters in the can.
Oh. Mm.
No,
Okay,
well,
no, I know what you're talking about. My mom likes those.
yeah. When I was a kid, we used to get those, and I remember they were okay.
Yeah. It's also National Underwear Day.
I have underwear on.
Okay, you celebrated. I did not. And it's also National Work Like a Dog Day. How do you? I don't understand. It's another thing I get tired of certain politicians who are always saying negative things about dogs.
Well, I think that was not making a bad comment about dogs. It's saying that dogs are when they like sled dogs.
Mhm.
They work. They're
Oh,
they're very devoted and they
yeah,
work hard. You're not going to find a working dog that goes, I'm just not feeling it today.
right. Yeah.
So
No, but I just I mean that one slimy politician who's always like, oh, he was sick as a dog, or he's needs to be kicked like a dog, or something like
I don't understand why dogs seem to be in the famous phrases, but
that. Yeah, I don't.
like sick as a dog, like when they throw up. Is that what sick as a
I
dog
guess
means?
they were just like sick as a dog. I'm like, no, no. Now, see, cats on the other hand, vomiting like a cat. I mean, those little suckers vomit little hairballs all over the place. Anyway, well, let's move on to birthdays. Happy birthday to Gail, and happy upcoming. Oh my gosh, I missed some birthdays there this weekend. Uh, kind of. Anyway, also happy birthday upcoming to Tiffany, James, Jason. We have Sean, my long lost cousin Adrian, who just we connected like 2 years ago. David, Jason, Kimberly, Stewie. We have Anthony, uh, and Tracy, somebody from our local theater community. We have Julia, Life, or Leaf, depending on how you
Leaf.
pronounce it. That's what I heard, but yeah, you know what I mean. Then we have Usul, Diane, Tiberius, and Richard. And actually, you'll remember Richard Hallmark. He was actually on one of the not Make It Cut. What is the one before that?
Oh, um, uh, Project
Project
Runway.
Runway. Yes. So he was actually a contestant on there, but he didn't last very long. He's a local boy. So
Now he's not the one that died, is he?
no, no, I no. He's still actively scaring people in the world.
Okay.
So,
Oh, I know which one. I know who you're talking about now. Okay. Yes. Yes.
okay. All right. Let's see. So those are birthdays. Happy birthday to all of you. I hope that you have a wonderful time. And also, happy birthday tomorrow to Mr. Toppy Smelly, one of our favorite people. And then also in a few days, we have a happy birthday to Big Fatty. Yay. Ah, it's always wonderful when he gets older. All right. All right, we do have some stuff in our feed bag, starting out with Sean, who wrote in and said, I'll take curtains over blinds. Seems like blinds always fall apart eventually or stop working. And yeah, especially if you have pets. If you have pets with blinds,
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Next door, the renters, you
yeah.
can tell the ones who have pets in their house because the blinds they're garbage now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's cats. They've got cats.
Okay, yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had cats that were always jumping up and knocking those things over or clawing it or whatever, but yeah. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Moose wrote in and said, You'll be proud of me. I turned my TV on. Have been glued to the Summer Olympics. Y'all watching? What's your favorite sport? Mine is rugby. I actually haven't been watching it all, although I do love usually watching Summer Olympics, but I just haven't been this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you have Peacock,
Mm.
Peacock is great. You go into their Olympic area
Mhm.
on the site, and what it does is it offers you can go into whichever sport you want to see,
Mm.
and they will give you either highlights from that sport. They will show the final rounds of the winning final
Oh,
round. No commercials.
lovely.
It's and no cutaways to watch weightlifting and soccer while the girls, it's just like, can I want to watch the gymnasts.
Uh-huh.
So and then we last night after it was funny because after we talked about how 4 years ago there was that, or actually it was 8 years and 4 years ago, there's the guy from, I think he was like from Montana or something, and he was this big burly guy who
Oh,
did the shot put, and we were talking about that yesterday. Well, we came home last night, and they had just done the finals, and he won for his third consecutive time,
oh,
the
wow.
gold there. But it was so funny because here's all these shot putters, and Sean's like foaming at the mouth, and
Uh-huh.
I'm like, all right, we get the idea that they're cute. Um,
Yeah,
and but they were all, actually there were some that were super cute because I don't mind a little meat on the body either.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah, it's fun.
that's very cool. My favorite is has always been men's gymnastics. Not that I dislike watching the girls, of course, but the men's gymnastics I've always liked, and I used to have it back in the early '90s. I had a huge crush on Alexei Nemov, um, but it's a blast from the past. And of course, the swimming and the diving and women's basketball. There was a period where I loved watching the women's basketball team. Anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time to write in and share with us. And also, I do have a little note here, just in case you wanted to talk anything about our friend Bethany's memorial, which we attended Saturday and was an amazing event.
Well, and that's what I want to talk about is the event itself. Now, Bethany was involved in the We Love Horror Movies group here in town, which they put on screenings of like horror films that you'll never see, sometimes not even be available on video anywhere. If you don't have the DVD or the Blu-ray, you might not ever see these movies again. That kind of
Right.
horror film. And so she was part of that. She earned she became Bloody Bethany, who was she hosted these things for years.
Mm-hmm.
And Bloody Beth, well, you won. She was Bloody Bethany, but it was like the queen of the horror show, you know. So
Yes.
she it was a beauty contests
Yeah,
basically,
which is how
and
you earn the title of bloody.
sure. And so so she had earned that title. She did theater all around town, and I when I say all around town, she did it with the gay theater, she did it with straight theater, she did it with musical theater, she did shit on the we have a riverboat
Yeah.
here in Sacramento. They did theater on the riverboat as well. So she
Mhm.
was everywhere, and it wasn't just strictly in Sacramento. If she was able to get to it, she would do anything, and very very much loyal um and without ego, you
Mhm.
know. And what I mean by, and also what I mean by loyal is, you knew that if you gave her the part, she was going to learn it, she was going to kill it,
Yep.
and she was going to show up for rehearsals and every perform. I don't ever remember her not meeting a performance.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, uh so she had all these different, her hand in a lot of different things. Well, they had the memorial service at a theater actually 2 blocks from my house. It's an old theater, and this is the theater where she got her title as
Yeah.
Bloody Bethany. This is where she got married to her husband, her now
First
divorced
husband.
husband, but well, it's her only husband.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so she got married there. I went to the wedding there. So whenever I see the Colonial, I was thinking. So when they said they were going to do the memorial at the Colonial, it seemed very appropriate. But they had the stage lined with things about her. She had a very distinct look to herself. She had this bright cranberry hair, short bob and then it was black and like leopard prints or
Hmm.
some sort of animal print. That was her signature. Usually always in a skirt, boobs hanging out, and so they had like some mannequins with some of her outfits on it. They had pictures, they had programs, they had everything she touched. They had a little bit of it there, and then they had people come in and speak and share stories. But it just seemed like, she spent so much time in that building and with these people. It was so amazing that they had to, well, and they had to bring in go to a theater that could house 400 people,
Yeah.
um and an air conditioner that can't handle 400 people. but
Yeah.
but it was a fantastic thing. They had after the memorial service, they took a rest, and at 7:30 they asked everybody to come back because they were going to show Chainsaw Massacre 2 uh,
Which
up
was
on
her
the big
favorite movie.
on the big screen, because that was her favorite movie. So
Hmm.
so it
And
was.
one of the groups that she did, she worked with Trash Film Orgy. They did like a skit before the movie that was an homage to her being a protective ghost that would drive out, punish bad people and stuff like that. And they had one of the performers sung a song, and it was a rock song. It was not, a dirge about, we'll see you in heaven. It was like a kick-ass rock song. And Brian Judd, your partner, he in the other show, he got up there and did a very sweet telling some stories about her. And well, it was the first time that he made people cry for a good reason. Um, so
What was interesting about that,
yeah.
about what happened, was I leaned over to Brian right before he got called up, and I said, "Are you going to sloppy cry on stage?" He goes, "Well, I hope not." And then he gets up there and sloppy cries on stage.
He does, yeah.
And
And
I
then
thought he was
told
going to.
everybody, "Fuck you for making me cry."
I thought he was going to call me out for doing it. Because I mean, it was like, "You're not gonna sloppy cry, are you?" And he goes, "I hope not." And they go, "And our next presenter is Brian Judd," and it's like, "Oh shit!" And then within, all he did was take a breath and lose it
Yep.
right away. And so, but it was nice seeing him be a tad human as well. So
Yeah, and honestly, this is what memorials and funerals and stuff should be like. It
Yeah.
was amazing. It was like nothing I'd ever attended
I
before.
mean, the closest thing I can think of is your kind of traditional, what you think of as of the Louisiana funeral, where they
Yeah.
start off with the dirge carrying the body down the street, and then they put the body down, and then the jazz music comes up, and everybody starts dancing and singing.
Yep.
It
And
was
have a
it
good
was
old
that
lake.
it was that, but with a horror theme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, we just I'm so glad I went. I'm so glad I was there.
Well, yeah, and I've been seeing this happening a lot,
Mhm.
and it's kind of angering me,
Mhm.
is that when it was first announced that she had died,
Mhm.
Facebook just fell on its knees,
Oh yeah.
hitting the ground, going, "How? Why?"
Yep.
And yet 2 weeks later they don't show up,
Right.
which
Well, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that and I keep seeing this happen. A friend of mine had a stroke, and
Mhm.
she, we sent the word out to everybody, and everyone's going, "Oh, they're telling us, oh, that's so awful, that's so awful," but no one reached out to her, and
Right.
it's like, you've got to support people when this kind of shit happens, and even if it's,
No.
I mean, it wasn't supporting her in a way, it was, but it's just
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
I
I
don't know.
have
It's
to
just
I have to just say that I think the people that really mattered, the people that really cared, they were there. And there were
sure.
a few that posted, that they like I know that a couple of people that really wanted to be there got COVID. And so they couldn't, or at least thankfully they didn't expose everybody else to their germs. But there's a few people that
Surprised.
you and I
Yeah.
both were like, being the aunties tapping our fingers and shaking our heads like, mm. Anyway. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into some chub hugs, and you go ahead and say what you
Well,
want to say.
I think Chub Hugs really should go out to the folks in Florida and in, um, I guess it's going Georgia, South Carolina. I'm not sure if it's
Mm.
going to hit Moose up in North Carolina. I'm sure he's going to feel it, though. They're going to get something out of it. And those guys, and here we are. This is number four, the fourth hurricane of the
Mm-hmm.
season, and the third one to hit major land.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's not gonna get better.
Nope.
It's really not gonna, even if we stop right now, it's gonna, I mean, it hopefully stay the same, but I mean, look at the heat wave across the nation that
Right.
we've had in June and July. And now we're going into August,
Well,
which is usually the second hottest month of the year.
right. And the thing is that they're like, oh well, if we got a hold of, stopping the things that we're doing that are making the climate worse and everything, it would take decades before it would. And it's like during COVID when China,
Yeah.
China, who is a country that produces so much bad stuff for the atmosphere, within a month it almost completely cleared up. It's like
Well,
they're lying.
2 days after they shut down Los Angeles, Los Angeles had beautifully clean air. They took pictures of how it was just
Mm,
gorgeous. The freeways were empty, and there was just this lovely blue sky, and everything was, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, we can get a hold on this and we can do it quickly and we can start reversing this pattern, or we can just keep, but we had a friend who moved down to Tampa and then was in the eye of the storm. So anyway, okay, well, I think that's a great chub hug. I want to send an additional chub hug out to Nephi, who had to see 4 theater shows this week and had to drive to and from work 5 times last week. That's amazing. So big chub hug out to him. All right.
What were the shows?
One was Cirque du Soleil. One was The Color Purple the musical. One was, I think, the Dark Lady.
She danced and laughed.
Oh, the woman in black. I could swear I've seen that one. And then I forget what the other one was. So I'm sure that he'll be unhappy because I forgot whatever the other one was. But all of them very cool. And he sent me some pictures and stuff from all of them. And I mean, that's great, but he definitely deserves a Chub hug for that. So, all right. Next up, let's go ahead and jump into the news, starting with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's son Pax is on the mend. 20 days after being hospitalized for an e-bike accident in Los Angeles, he is out of the ICU, and he suffered complex trauma and now begins a long road to recovery and physical therapy. Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shea Brosnan, well, they are celebrating their 23 years of marriage. So, wow, it's amazing. And did you see a picture of him in Hollywood? I don't know. But I did see a picture of him recently, and he still looks really young. Zac Efron says that he is happy and healthy following hospitalization for a swimming accident in Spain.
I wonder what happened.
I don't know. They're being kind of tight-lipped about it. I couldn't find any details anywhere, but he's fine. He's back to exercising and posting shirtless pics. So there you go. Chasten Buttigieg and Doug Emhoff, the husbands of the Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and Vice President Kamala Harris, respectively, hauled in $321,000 at a weekend fundraiser for Harris on Fire Island last Friday. Wow. And that out Cher's $200,000 fundraiser on Fire Island years ago or whatever.
I thought it was interesting that the right went after Doug about his affair with his first wife. And it's like, okay, your candidate has cheated on everybody he's ever been with.
Yep.
He's got, his kids are all anchor babies, and yet here you are talking about a man who had sex with somebody and the marriage was over. Okay.
Like so many years ago.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, they're just digging it. Everything.
Yeah.
And then saying that the idiots that said that Kamala Harris hates Jewish people and her husband's Jewish.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you idiots. And
do your research, damn it.
Yeah. We're just gonna throw everything out there and somebody will believe it. Why not? All right, well, celebrity deaths. This last week, Bobby Banas, best known for audiences as Joy Boy, a member of the Jets in the 1961 film adaptation of West Side Story, died on July 29th. He was 90 years old. That's the second West Side Story.
Yeah, the choreographer was one of the, and they were both in the Jets too.
Yeah.
No, they were both sharks. Wait. You're Jets, right? Jets were the. I keep forgetting because I keep thinking it was the Puerto Rican people because it was Maria's Puerto Rican because it was the Caucasians against the Puerto Ricans. That was the whole Jets Sharks thing. And sometimes I forget because I always think of white people as being terrible. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I get that. I will feel so blown away, sad when our dear sweet Maria goes.
You mean Anita?
Yes. Oh, was her name Anita?
Rita Moreno?
Oh, Rita Moreno. Yes, that's who I'm talking about. But she was Maria in the movie.
No, she was not Maria in the movie.
What was her name in the movie?
Well, in the movie, she was Anita.
Okay, I didn't.
Maria was
Okay,
Natalie
I
Wood.
have actually a confession here. I've never actually watched the movie,
Well,
like either version.
and I'll explain why I get the confused because I'm so heavy into The Outsiders right now, and that's where the rich white people are the bad guys,
Mm-hmm.
and the poor
How it
people,
usually is.
the mixed group of poor people are being bullied by the rich people, and so and in West Side Story, Tony was rich white guy, so it's kind of confusing, kind of
Hmm.
confusing.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. We have Francine Pascal, author of the long-running, best-selling, and most loved Sweet Valley High series of young adult books, died July 28th in Manhattan at the age of 29 after a battle with lymphoma.
Age of 92.
92. Did I say 29?
Yeah, it's because 28 was right above it.
Well, it's my weird transposition of numbers. I don't understand it. From the brain to the mouth, it just doesn't always work. Kelly Nelson Nealon Clark, her husband, Jason Nealon Clark, and their daughter, Amber Nealon Kistler, of the Grammy nominated gospel family group, the Nealons, were killed in a plane crash on July 26th.
The whole group?
The whole family, the whole group, yeah.
Wow.
So, and that is celebrity deaths this week. Now we're going to move into finding out what Tom wants to talk about this week.
Well, let's see. I did. I okay. Now you're not watching The Bachelor, so I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
I really want her. I've decided that if it's not going to be her, I want somebody, some bachelor to get on there and take command of what's going on. I'm tired of Jesse and the producers, you know, kind of making out how, we're going to have the cocktail party here. I want her to go, okay, I'm pissed off. No cocktail party. I want you, and you out, and I will see the rest of you tomorrow and just leave. I would love that. And because a couple people have done that, I mean, not the whole season, but I remember Chastity, she threw somebody out, and well, actually, Jen did that with the guy who was never in a relationship before, and I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay,
Yeah.
you need to go, and so I just want to see more of that because these guys are dicks. These guys are assholes. They're back at the house fighting with each other, and it's just I really want her to go. Like when somebody comes up and goes, "Well, so and so's saying this," she goes, "Now you're going to go home because I don't like tattletales. Get out." Because I mean, how many times have we had a season devoted to the person listening to one person who everybody hates?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff I want to get rid of. Finished Exploding Kittens on Netflix. It was really funny. And it ended kind of like it was. Well, when it ended, it felt like, okay, is there not going to be another season? Because I figured with Mike Judd, it's Mike Judge, I think, Mike Judd,
Okay. Yeah.
at the helm. I figured, well, this will be another Netflix return series. So I'm not sure. It just and they had 9 episodes. Usually there's 8 episodes or 10 episodes. So I thought maybe the ninth one, because the eighth one ended on a cliffhanger, and I thought, oh well, that was supposed to be the ending of the first season, and then they go, well, there's not going to be a second season. Okay, we need to tie this together, then give us one more episode. Okay, we'll do that. That's kind of how it felt. I don't know if it's true, but that's how it felt to me. On Evil, we're getting down to the end where because this is the final walk to the finale, and I think there's 3 episodes left, so we're getting all the storylines coming back together, and it's getting very exciting. Not as funny as most of the episodes have been. On House of Dragons this week, did you see it?
No, I have not finished it. I have 2 episodes I need to watch.
Oh God. Well, it's just more. This
Wasn't
episode
this the
was
finale?
no, the finale was last night. This is
Oh,
last week's episode.
okay.
Yeah, Sean just refuses to watch it now. He's so bored with it, as I am.
Mm.
So uh, uh, it was basically, well, we need someone to ride this dragon, and so they brought in people who wanted to volunteer to possibly be the new rider of the dragon, and the dragon just like, I don't want you people, and just starts burning everybody. So it was more burned hair again. So and there was a lot of it. So it was okay. I mean, towards the end of the episode, it got all right, but for the most part, it's just like, I'm done. I cannot wait to see the finale. And they're like an hour and a half long. They're like these little fucking movies. And I want to watch. I don't want to watch a movie every week
Yeah,
with the same
yeah.
storyline.
Well,
Um,
especially when it moves so slow and you get like maybe one or two small plot points.
yeah. So let's see. The boyfriend ended finally,
Huh?
um, and I won't tell you who, but two couples left to two guys, two couples left together. So that was, I mean, not the two couples together, but two coupled up, two couple. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was kind of nice. Not so much the first couple, but the second couple was very. Uh, I really liked them. They were my favorite. So um, let's see. To claim to fame this week was um, the person who got exposed was the niece of Molly Ringwald. I
Ooh.
know. Uh, I told Brian that this feels like um, if you took the people from Dancing with the Stars who are never stars,
Hmm.
and then take one step away from them into their family members. So it's like not really stars, but we'll take their niece, their nephew, their cousin, their brother, their somebody. And I mean, it was cool. Like last season, they had Jimmy Carter's grandson. That was kind of cool. But
Yeah. But
but
like,
it,
okay, how is somebody gonna ever guess Molly Ringwald's
well, they have
children?
clues, and like last season
Okay.
when they had Donny Osmond's son, it's like, okay, well, he's related to one of the Osmonds. Just which one? You
Hmm.
know, because he looked like he could have been one of the Osmond brothers when they had the group. So, but it's kind of fun, and like they do give you clues. They have a clue wall, and the clue, like for Jamie Lee Curtis, was the butcher knife from Halloween was one of the clues,
Okay.
and it was funny because I had heard that he was related to her ahead of time online by some spoilers, and I remember he's standing next to the wall, and they went from him to the knife. The camera moved over to the knife, like they're giving us hints who these people are. And like
Okay.
one guy goes, "Oh my God, I was at this place," and he's there just talking, and they, the girl comes up and goes, "Mr. Jackson, we're going to need you to do this," and everyone went, "Mr. Jackson." Oh, and he's a black guy. So is he one of the Jacksons, like the Jackson 5 Jacksons, or is it like Randy Jackson? So now we don't, and
Oh yeah.
we're
Well.
playing games, because there's a lot of, I mean, Jackson is a very popular name for black people. So um and if he's black, I mean, Jimmy Lee Curtis's nephew, he was trying to make, because he had like a Spanish look to him. They thought he was Antonio Banderas's um son or
Hmm.
grandson, or he was one of Desi Arnaz's kids, but he threw that out to throw them off. So the Jackson thing could have been a complete lie as well. But then if you're going to be fucking around with lying, you might as well take a popular name that they'll immediately run with. So
Hmm.
it's so with it's kind of fun. Um, and then Big Brother this week, they everyone thought they were going to send Angela home. And Angela's this crazy bitch. She's so crazy that they scrubbed her name off of the realty company that she works for, because they're
Right.
getting they're getting tired of the attacks from the Angela haters online.
Mm.
So, and they said, "Oh, well, she's not fired. We just, we're taking it down to stop the conversation on our end." And so it was just fine. I don't believe it, but okay.
Huh.
But so we thought we were getting rid of her, and all of a sudden there's this turn against Lisa, I think Lisa, and then all of a sudden they send Lisa home, and when they do, all that happens is Angela just sobs the whole time. I can't believe you saved me, and she's such a cunt. She's
Oh
so
God.
terrible. She's a terrible, terrible person. And I mean, is she playing the game well? I don't know if she's playing the game well or she's just a nut. But Lisa, she was really hippie-ish. She shows up with her yoga and her edible glitter, and yeah. So getting rid of her isn't a bad thing either. And then let's see, we start a new show called Night Agent, which is on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's
Oh yeah.
not. I'm not sure. I honestly, we're 2 episodes in, and I'm not really sure what's going on, and which we have been finding out. But the episodes are very compelling, and they're moved well. They're easy to watch, and they're so far. I mean, they're easy to follow, even though we're not getting all the information.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now, is that a new release or has it been?
Yes, it's brand new. It's like a few weeks old.
Okay, because there was another one I think that was kind of the same, and it was like episode 3 or 4 before you understood anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
That happens a lot, though.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Sometimes shows need to give you, I don't know, some sort of heads up off the bat.
Well, yeah, and I think the reason that they're doing it is because they don't want to blow their load in the first episode like American Horror Story usually does, where it always gives off too much, and then they don't have enough to fill the season with.
Yeah, that's true. That American Horror Story. Wow, I don't know. I think Witches was probably the best season, but that I watched because I didn't watch most of them.
Yeah, it's kind of a, what do you call it? You got to have a taste for it, and to keep going with it, or so you got to have something that's appealing. And I see because we didn't even get all the way through the latest one, American Horror Story, and they
one, or is there a new one?
This is the one with the Rosemary's Baby thing.
Oh, right. I completely forgot to even try to watch it.
And I don't even think that they I don't know if they finished the season or not, because they only gave us like a limited amount of episodes, and then it was off for a bit, and then they came back with more episodes, and I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Or they did such a poor job that I can't figure out what the fuck's going
on. I have no idea.
But that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's just,
yeah. Okay. Is that good? How's your rest?
And well, this is the newest one, and right at the top, yesterday, well, for the past few days, there's been like I don't know if it was a pimple or there was something in there, but it looked like a pimple with a little black thing in the middle of it, to the point of where you couldn't put any weight on it. And if it touched something, it was like, it was like you were getting poked. And so, and not in a good way. And so last night, after I'd been in the water all that time, and I had a drink in me, I just kind of took care of it, and it's like so good right now. I can actually touch things with my wrist, with my palm, and not pull back from the pain. So that's really good. That's the only thing that's really been holding me back. So I think at this point I should be able to go back to the gym. It's just I couldn't put any pressure on it. It was weird. Yeah. Other than that, I think that's it for me.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I did not watch any of the shows that we are mutually kind of watching, but you talked about most of them, so that's good. I haven't finished Star Wars Acolyte yet. I will probably actually. I think all the shows that you listed except Bachelorette are done now. The final episodes are out, so I'll catch
Yeah.
up on all of that and we can talk about it. For me, I've been continuing my saga of watching Vikings. I talked about having watching Vikings Valhalla, which I thought was actually 3 seasons, good series. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed the storyline, even though it was full of constantly sacrificing everything. And I don't know how there was actually people back in those time periods because like every 5 minutes they were all at war with each other and slaughtering thousands of people, and it was just I don't get it. Anyway, so then of course I started watching Vikings, which I guess was the series that kicked it all off. Last week I think I made it through season 3. This time I am 5 or 6 episodes away from finishing season 6, which I believe is the last season, and I will be fine with that. Um, it's compelling enough to keep watching it. We are now basically watching the, I guess, kind of third-ish, 2.5-ish generation. Like all the older generation has all been like killed off except for like maybe 1 or 2 side characters, which are now moved to the main characters. And it's just a bunch of invasion and war and killing. And I swear they're dropping baby. All the women are pregnant every other episode, and then they have the baby, and then the baby falls off the boat or gets eaten by foxes or something ends up happening all the time. I don't know how they continue as a species. But hey, if you want something long term to commit to, give it a watch. It's not bad. It's just I'm kind of worn out on it, I think. Also been rewatching for the, I don't know, 10th time probably, Red Dwarf, which is just it's such a unique, fun series. There was this question that came up on Facebook Sci-Fi Writers Group about which sci-fi series, comedy or otherwise, would you like to see either done into a movie or redone or kind of reimagined or whatever. And I didn't even think about Red Dwarf at the time, but I think that it would make a really good either reboot into. I don't think they could redo it as a comedy series because it was so unique as it was. But I think that if they reimagined it as a more serious one, they would do really good. Or if they did a movie homage to it, I think it would be great. And actually, those are pretty much literally, except for some political shows, all that I watched. Past that, I think it was last week on Monday, I went to the dentist before we recorded. Or no, it was Tuesday. So I went to the dentist to have my broken upper tooth fixed, and they did it. They basically just filled it in with gunk and and it didn't hurt before. Like even when it was broken, it didn't hurt. But then, when they cleaned out the cavity and then they filled it in, they're like, well, it's really close to the root, so or the nerves, so you might have some pain now. Thanks. Yeah. Every time I drink something cold or eat something hot, and of course I can't chew on it, and girl.
Better get a root canal.
Actually, that's what they were saying. Well, if it gets too painful, you might need a root. I'm like, fuck you. Do you know how hard they always have trouble with giving me root canals? And I'm just like, no, just give me the gas and pull. I'm so tired of dental stuff. Anyway, but I do go back in a month, and they're gonna start doing other stuff because I've got a mouthful of lovely money for them. Thankfully, not mine. So World of Warcraft is launching its new expansion in about 3 weeks, and currently the pre-expansion patch, which has new content, new ways to level your characters, take down the memories of Azeroth, is going on, and yeah, they kind of, when they launched it, they had it fucked up. The event just was not right. Well, they finally have it fixed, and now it's kind of fun to go in there and just like level up a character 10 levels in about 2 hours. So this is really fun. So I've been doing a little bit of that this weekend, or this last week. And then, well, we celebrated some birthdays yesterday. We celebrated our friend Seaman's 75th birthday.
Siemens.
Yeah, that's what we talked. We on the other show.
Oh, okay.
Seaman.
Okay.
Because he was in the Navy. Yeah, that's why. Anyway, but his 75th birthday was what, Friday.
Friday.
And so we gathered him, and then of course we got your dear friend Brian Judd. His birthday was yesterday, and he turned, well, 75 in spirit. And then your birthday's coming up later this month, and so we threw Tom into the mix, and we celebrated everybody's birthday. Mr. Ouija made some cupcakes, which was very sweet. And then I don't know, we brought some this and that. Mr. Ouija also bought some meatloaf so that we could have some meatloaf sandwiches. But the highlight, it was very sweet. Actually, it was a good meatloaf for being Bel Air. But the highlight was the Costco pizzas that you and Sean brought. I loved them. I thought they were, well, I had the pepperoni one. It was really good.
Well, and you know, it's so funny because you can sit there and you can like pain over what am I going to bring, what's going to, and they're $10 a piece.
That is a great price, especially for that size of a pizza.
Yeah.
But it's actually a good thing, because I had actually said before we stopped at Bel Air, I was like, we could just pick up a pizza or something. So yeah, it's good that we went with chips and hummus and meatloaf. So yeah, it was a very pleasant, nice little pool evening with the group. So anyway,
so aren't you even going to tell them about the commercial?
That was my next thing. So
okay.
On the last show, I wanted to do one of those last week on Chub's Gone Wild. Tom had mentioned that he was in was it a Lambs Plus? Yes.
Lambs Plus
commercial. And so when people, mention these things, I like to go search for them. And I just typed Lambs Plus commercial 1980s into YouTube, and the first thing that pops up is Tom. So yeah, I found the commercial, and I did post it in the Chubs Gone Wild Facebook group. So if you want to go over there and check out the siren,
very young. Look how I'm like a baby in the picture.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, but I was very pleased to have found that.
Well, and now I see why people thought I looked like Louis Anderson.
Yes.
I mean, the face that kind of does. I don't have. His hair was blonder than mine, but I do have a little gap in my teeth. Not quite the tunnel he had, but yeah. So it was that was fun.
Yeah. No, so I am very glad to have found that, and you haven't seen it since it actually aired, though, right?
Well, yeah. The thing was, it was a commercial, so to try to capture it, I would have had to just, left my DVR running, or VHS. No, what is it? Whatever VHS. It was, I'd have to put it on fucking tape and just keep recording until I got it. And then how am I supposed to edit it?
Right. Well, that's when
It
you
was
had to buy the second
1986.
VCR, which wasn't a thing back then.
Right. And also there was no editing, how do I edit that in 1986?
Yeah, exactly. But now you have it, and
Well, I can include it now in all my auditions.
your reels. Yes. All right. So very cool. That was kind of my week. Yeah. So, oh, wait a minute. Didn't we have the seance? Didn't we do the seance and stuff like on Wednesday?
No, Wednesday we had a birthday party for our Bloody Bethany that just
Yes.
happened to have, a Ouija board and
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. So that was another thing is we got together to celebrate Bethany's birthday on last
her birthday.
Wednesday. And
Well, and the backstory is that it was her 40th. So she wanted a party for her 40th birthday, and Brian had planned out a party at his house that was supposed to be on the 3rd, which ended up being her memorial.
right.
And so I said, well, why don't we celebrate her birthday and see if she comes back, because she's threatened to. She's told everybody she's coming back to haunt.
Yeah.
So we did the same meal that we were going to have hot dogs, bagged chips, this cherry drink that she had concocted, and what was the last thing? Oh, and cupcakes.
Yes.
So we brought it all together, so we would be able to celebrate her birthday with her. And even though the Ouija board, we didn't get any firm answers, we did get movement from it.
Yeah.
And I know that when I got into my car to leave, because Sean drove separate because he came after work. So I got in the car, and when you start the car, or when you open the door, the light comes on, the dome light. And when you start the car and you start moving, the dome light goes off.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go off. It had been moved out of the position of automatic to manual, and to where it was just on. I didn't touch it. So I figured I got my sign. So
there you go. Yeah.
Because I've never had to do that. The car's 19 years old, and I've never had to correct that. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
So yeah, we definitely we definitely had a time, and I do believe she was there, whether we are actually got the board to kind of cooperate or not. So all right, well, let's go ahead and move into advice. And this one was actually a question that was submitted by our dear friend Nephi. Oh, by the way, it's a question he submitted. He didn't write it. He heard the question and wanted to see what our take on it was. I'm a 35-year-old cis. Let me try that again. Yeah, I'm a 35-year-old cis woman. I believe that's a heterosexual woman. I'm calling with a question regarding to a friendship. I have a very dear friend. We've been close for about 6 years now. We live next door to each other. She has a baby who's about 8 months old. She had the baby through a sperm donor, so she's a single mom by choice. She's raising the baby as a baby, meaning the baby's completely gender neutral. And then when they are of a certain age, they can choose their own gender. My friend doesn't have much of a support system, so I try to help her out as much as I can. We spend a lot of time together on the weekends running errands, and what's happened a lot lately is people will come up to her and say, and assume the baby is the girl. They'll say things like, oh, what a beautiful little girl. Baby looks just like her mama. And my friend gets very, very upset by these comments. She says in a very cold tone to these people, my child's genitals are of none of your concern. Thank you. It's to me, it seems to me that it's a little harsh and confrontational. I've said as much to her, and she just thinks it's funny. She says, people she says, people get what they deserve if they are going to ask stupid questions. So I've offered to watch the baby for her on weekends while she runs errands, and she's not comfortable with that. She doesn't want me to have to change the baby's diaper and to see their biological sex. She even joked that she knows that I'd sneak a peek into the baby's diaper if I were alone with the baby, which is ridiculous and a little offensive. So I'd love your advice. I've tried to talk to my friend. She really doesn't care. I've offered another solution. She doesn't want to do it. I really don't want to go places in public with them anymore because of these weird interactions. I feel very guilty though, because as I've said, if I step back down from being around, I think that she will definitely struggle because of the lack of support. So, any advice you could share?
It's a hard one.
Run far, run fast.
I don't know. I
think
it's cool what she's trying to do.
Yeah, trying to do.
But I don't care as much with the strangers as I do that she's afraid that she's going to look in the diaper and it's
a boy or
it's not
girl.
it's kind of like, yeah, but I don't know. It's like, why would you think, first of all, why do you think she's going to run around telling everybody if she finds out? I mean, who's going to change the kids' diapers other than you?
Yeah.
For the next 2.5 years, 3 years. I don't know. To me, it just seems like if you've got a support system, you should trust that support system.
I agree. And I think that and like you said, it's a nice idea, but you can still kind of do that without having to be a complete weirdo about it. I don't know. I mean, just know that, at some point your kid's going to want to start, looking at Barbies or doing girly or boy things on their own. At some point it's going to manifest. Just let
I know, but how long is you think it is before you start seeing a definite gender choice?
I think it's probably about 2 to 3 years. And
really?
It not even be because, well, I mean, I know that my friend Heather said by 4 or 5 she knew she was a girl and she felt wrong, but she was pushed into the boy role and she had to conform. So
right.
But she remembers having dreams that at that age that she was turned into a girl and had, beautiful dress and stuff. And so anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
You can either be there for her, but I love the idea that she's going for. I just don't think she's manifesting it correctly or whatever. Run away. All right. Hey, Chubs. Send this comes from Timothy. He says, hey Chubs, have you ever hooked up with a friend's ex?
I have. But before I knew the friend.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was actually, and it wasn't an ex. I'll just say that. Okay. It was a current.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Well, that's not my fault.
No,
I didn't know.
No, I understand. The answer is yes, I have. However, not a close friend, not anyone
right.
like within my circle of friends, because that would just be too. But and then of course, definitely have ended up being with the same person who's been with the same friend group. That type of thing.
It's like I went to a lesbian party years ago. And I was amazed that there were like 12 lesbians there, and they'd all been with, not every single person, but most of them had been with, because I was sitting there with my friend, and she's going, okay, well, That's my ex over there,
Mhm.
and that's my girlfriend's ex over there, and then that's so the person. Okay, we both, my girlfriend and I, have both been with her, not together, but before,
Yeah.
and she is the ex of that girl who we just mentioned, and it's like, okay, I don't need any more explanation. This is too incestuous to even talk about.
Yeah.
But but I mean, you've got to, especially if you're an older gay person, it's not like you were dating the people at work,
Right.
that you only your clique was where you made all your connections. So
Yeah, and especially like if you're in the Chub Chaser community and
yeah,
you're going to end up bumping into. I mean, heck, Sean and I went on a date a few
yeah.
years before you guys got together, but
It
and
was it was it wasn't a few years, it was the year.
oh, was the year? Oh, well, anyway.
Well, I
So
know
it's the one
because
thing that
we
one
were at the
actor.
17th theater, 17th Street
Oh,
Theater.
that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Well, it's the one time that one annoying actor actually did something good and interrupted us so that y'all were pure. And I could have to say, I can say, no, certainly didn't do that for anyway. All right. Hey, Chubbs, Timothy wants to know what famous person's Google history would you like to see the most? Famous persons.
Probably Donald Trump, just to
Oh,
see
God.
the insanity of
Do you
what
think he
his
had actually Google anything?
um yeah, when he wants to, I'm sure that when he's sitting on the toilet, and he's texting out things on Twitter or Truth
Yeah.
Social, that he's got to like look up certain, little something that he can play off of,
Like how to turn on caps lock or
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
She knows.
Yeah. Oh wow. I have no idea. Um Maybe Madonna. I mean, I can't think of anybody that would not be horrendously boring. All right. Hey Chubbs. Timothy wants to know if you were arrested. No. And allowed one phone call, to whom would it be?
Well,
If I could, somebody's number that I could actually remember. Um,
well,
yeah,
mine would be Sean.
right. Uh,
That's that question, and unless Sean and I were both in jail together, then it would probably be. Um, that's the only two numbers I know.
well, yeah, I was gonna say, I know my coworker, my kind of the client, I know his number, and he would be a good person to call if he picked up. Um, I could call my mom, but chances are she probably wouldn't even pick up the phone because she has issues with the phone. Um, and then, of course, the main person I would call would be, you know, our friend Clint, but his number escapes me from time to time. So, yeah, that's one thing about cell phones is it's made it easy to not have to remember numbers like back when we were having a rotary dial. Like you knew 100 numbers in your head off the top.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah. I still remember my home phone number when I was living in Fair Oaks.
oh wow, that was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Timothy, so much. And if you want to send in questions to us, just go ahead and send your questions to chubsgonewild@gmail.com. All right. It's time for what's in your lunchbox. And Mr. Moose, he's been pretty busy. So we got
He's been eating lots of sweets.
he has starting with
Yeah,
baked a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. It turned out good.
it looks good.
Love a good carrot cake. So, and mention I love a good carrot cake. Uh, hubby ordered shrimp and lobster sauce for his lunch today, and it looked good. It did.
Yeah. I've always been the the way they make this sauce, how
Mhm.
it's kind of this was always a turnoff to me. The lobster sauce. It tastes great, but I don't like the clearness of it. I don't know. I guess
Okay.
it needs to be. I'm kind of a gravy person, brown, or white gravy. When it's clear, it's kind of weird. But it is. I've eaten it and I like it, but it's that yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
weird.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Um,
God. Oh, he got a poo poo platter, didn't he?
yes, wanted something different for lunch, ordered a poo poo platter and ate it all for lunch. That sounds good. Roast pork, chicken wings, some beef on a stick, fried wontons, tempuras, shrimp, a really good sauce to dip it in.
That
I
looks
used to, when I went through a phase where when I ordered from Chinese restaurants, that's what I would order is just a sampler platter or poo poo platter. All right, it's early morning. Wanted something quick and easy before the gym. Grilled cheese sandwich fit the bill. Multigrain bread, buttered, filled with Munster and cheddar cheese. Cheese is warm but not melted. Was more concerned with getting the proper toast on the bread. Grilled cheese really is an art.
yeah.
Made whole wheat bread today. This
Oh, good. I've been waiting. He made 4 loaves, and I've been wanting to know how it was and what it looked like when it was cut. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
uh, my okay. This is hot out of the oven, covered with butter. Recipe called for honey, and it gives the bread an earthy sweetness that is very pleasing. Oh, I like that. That sounds great. All right, so buckle up. This is a long one. I can explain. Now, when somebody starts out with that, it's going to be good. I can explain. I was frying seafood last week, made 2 different batters, one shrimp, one scallop. When I went in the pantry, I saw some bugs flying around. Mentally, I said, "Uh-oh, this isn't good." Checked each ingredient and I was using for the rest of the peas, and everything looked clean. But overnight, I couldn't get the idea out of my head that there may be something with bugs in it. Now, in my defense, I bought fresh cornmeal, bread flour, whole wheat flour, and cake flour on Thursday. It shouldn't have bugs, but with the heat we've had, it is possible. Was laying in bed and decided to throw everything away. Then I got to thinking, we have raccoons and possums in the backyard. They would make good meals. No, wait, no, he didn't say that. They don't care if they eat bugs. So, up at 7, baked 2 big pans of cornbread with lots of sugar. Was going to toss that too. Baked 6 loaves of French bread.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't
of this stuff. That's right. It's not the brown bread. Got it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he didn't see any bugs in any of the ingredients, but I feel better now. Threw out a lot of food, scrubbed the shelves with Lysol cleaner before putting anything back, gave a spray with Raid. Bought some more tight seal containers for storage, ran all the old containers in the dishwasher. 3 loads of dishes cleaned so far. Okay, I'm a little OCD about cleaning, but pictures are of animal food, French bread and cornbread. I didn't take time to properly shape the dough, but I didn't think the raccoons will mind. Yeah.
I've got a story.
Okay.
I think I've told it before, but it plays right into what Moose was talking about. And one time years ago, my my ex and I were eating cereal, and it was weird because I can't remember what the cereal was, but it was kind of it was the color of like Cheerios, so it just had that kind of that what do you call that, earthy looking kind of color. So we're
Okay.
eating and eating, and I'm like, and all of a sudden I'm like, what is that? and then I realized it was wings. We had weevils in the cereal, right?
Yeah.
And they were dead. They were dead, but they were weevils. So I picked up my bowl and I said, "Here, give me your bowl. I'm not done with it. Just give me your bowl." Why? You don't want to know. Just give me your bowl. And so, of course, couldn't take no for an answer. So I said, "You've been eating bugs," and then he threw everything up.
Uh,
But yeah, if someone says, "Give me what you're eating," don't ask why. I mean, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
here, you got to give that. Just understand that they're doing you a favor right now. Gross. It was
Right.
so, ugh. But yeah, and so I do know what it's like to have bugs in your pantry. Ugh.
Mhm. Yeah, I've had where I went to, I don't know, make a cake mix or something like that, and I dumped the cake mix in, and this little like poof of flies just it came from it. I was like, "Ah!" It was scary. It's awful. Um, so anyway, yeah, I'm glad that the animals got some food, and I don't blame you for that. Actually, we had an ant invasion a couple of years ago in one of the cupboards, and it took me 3 days spraying to get them to finally stop. And then once they did, everything got like wiped down and everything, and now everything I got containers for like all the sugar and the things like that. It's they're all in sealed containers now.
Yeah, if you ever have that problem again, I know I know what to do. It's basically it's a pet friendly thing that you put inside a cabinet. They'll eat it, and it'll kill the entire
Oh
thing,
yeah,
the
okay.
entire nest. But
I've
not,
heard.
yeah,
Go
but you
ahead.
don't want to, well, it's so dangerous with, pets
Mm-hmm.
to have that, and so this worked out so well, and they were gone in less than 12 hours.
Wow, that's really good. My friend Heather uses some sort of psyllium or dried psyllium or something like that, where it's like some dried something that they take and they eat, and it's sharp and it kills them all in a horrible way because it dries them out, and so they
Yeah.
all basically dry that way. And then, but what I used was a pet friendly spray that is kind of like
Oh, okay.
olive oil based, and when I spray that, and like I've left some of it like on the mirror or the wall before because I just didn't wipe it up, and I went back and there was like all sorts of little flying bugs that just like had landed there and died. It's really creepy. Anyway, speaking of non-creepy, well, we have a beautiful salad here, and it's said to be a salad that even you boys would like, and it was sent in by our Baron Frosty, and it is a beautiful salad with, well, it looks like a Cobb salad.
Yeah, it looks like a very upscaled Cobb salad,
Oh,
and yeah, I want this so bad. It's got bacon, looks like chicken, avocado, feta, or blue cheese. I'm not sure which one. Tomato on
yeah.
top of what looks to be very nice lettuce. That is not lettuce out of a bag.
Nope.
Yeah, it's
Very good
gorgeous.
lettuce. Yeah, it's a very beautiful salad, and you're right. I would totally be into something like my. If you
It's
heard
yum.
my comment of oh God, uh, the well, for some reason, whenever the bathroom light gets turned off, my system kind of goes a little wonky here, and so hopefully we're still recording because the Zoom call has gone a little weird, and I can't
Okay.
actually see you at all.
I can see you.
Okay, well then hopefully everything is fine, but all I see is like one solid white screen right now.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's move on and hope we're doing good. Thank you so much for sending that in, Baron and Mr. Moose. And if you want to send us what's in your lunchbox, all you got to do is send it to chubsgonewild@gmail.com. And Golden Rule Services want you to know about an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. PrEP is a medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, visit sacgrs.org. Find Tom's other podcast at swanneryjed.com. And actually, their new episode just went up today. And find Matt's books over at justkisstheguy.com. Did I say all that correctly? Were you listening?
Yes.
Swanneryjed.com. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Find all our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild, which gives you links to our Facebook and our other stuff all over the place. So very fun. And of course, give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes. So everybody live, laugh, love hard. And the people that you love, hug them hard. We love you, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
It's not stopping.
No, if this is gonna.
I'm gonna stop.
Okay, you stop it.
Okay. Where is the stop? Stop. Record. Stop doing that. Okay, that's not it. There's stop video. That's not right. I don't think I can actually.
Okay, so it's just going to close the program then, and hopefully it recorded.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.